Hi, I'm Lyric. This is Minecraft Monday. Boris will be here shortly, I think. Um, I played a little bit of this over the weekend. I've done some more of these. I've moved these chickens so that I could fit more of these chickens in. And um, I can't remember what we were doing, but oh, I was mowing. I was playing this and then I had to go and mow the grass. And I just left it running. So I've got heaps of chickens. So many chickens. All right, let's get some grass. We've got lots of stories to tell today. I'm sure Boris will do a good job of when he gets back. There are no chickens in this one. All right. They can keep going. These 4 and 4. 5 and 5 is better. 5 and 4 is 8. Get rid of some stuff. I also worked on cows a little bit. I didn't get very far with them. They take a lot longer. Chickens out. I clogged up my oven with cobble. So I've got stone in my things. What was I doing? All right, putting this essence away. No? Oh, I'm almost at my limit for stacks. Just did them. Okay, what do we got here? 484. 5. All right, 3. Oh, what do we got here? 4, 5, 3. 3, 3, 4. If we got tens, not really. 7, 6, 8, 7, 7, 7. Hi, Sal. Right, okay. Tens! We've got tens. Still doing things with chickens. I sure am. I am getting closer with chickens. Closer to finishing, that is. I'm on tier 6. Which is a pretty big tier, but I'm about halfway through it. And then 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all a lot smaller. So they should go a bit quicker. Oh, what's this? 233. Oh no. He's running on a bad thing. Okay. Yes, I'm sorry. I know chickens are boring. How about cows? Alright, I've got to get... Meat. Ooh, what are we doing here? Cows. Gold. I got there. Tin, molten silver? No. Got silver. Where's lead? That's the cow that's in there. Lead. Why? I think these goes with the... What uses it? Oh, okay. The problem with lead is that it doesn't go with silver. There's a silver cow. And lead up here. Use... Oh, I'm so confused. I wish this wasn't in the way. Because it like highlights all the like different cows it can make, but then this is in the way, so it's pointless. Okay, no, yeah, lead and silver make nickel. That's what I'm doing. And I just need to pick up that cow. Silver. Oops. Cow stick. Hi, Boris.
Hello, and hello, Bernie. I've arrived just in time for Bernie.
Oh, stinky. Alright. Oh, there is one thing I have to do with cows, which might be horrific. I have to kill all the double ups.
You just let them go and live a free, happy life? Yeah,
but I'd have to build them a room for them to be free and happy.
Give them some pickaxes.
They're just gonna hold it in their mouths.
Yeah.
I could set...
It's not hard to build.
I could set them free in the end.
Yeah, okay.
No, that'd take so long.
You've got, like, the cheat tools that let you build huge rooms easily.
It's still...
Okay.
I don't know. What's this? Platinum slime. Alright, I am gonna kill all the cows. Okay, so lava, seared stone, blue slime, platinum, water. Rid of this water. Seared stone. Milk. Get up. Molten lead. Tin. So Bernie's called me a murderess, which fair. And also, how did I get doubles in the first place? So the way you get new cows is by breeding two different cows together. So here I have gold and resonant ender. I breed them together, and there is a chance I could get resonant ender, molten gold, or the new cow. I'm trying to get them essence of knowledge cow. Great. So I've bred them together, and they made a resonant ender cow. So that's a double up. I'll need to kill. And they've made another molten gold cow. I will also need to kill. That's how you end up with double ups. And I've found out that cows can get into pens. This is what a cow has done. They climb up onto these and over the fence. Normally they can't climb fences. But they can if there's a block on them. And I'm keen on cows because you see all of these quest things down here. I want to finish all of them. So I'm very close on chickens, but I want to get all of the chickens, not just these chickens. I've got another cow. Now I'm pretty sure this is all of the cows in the game, so if it's not, I'm gonna pretend those other cows don't exist. There's too many animals. Animals are good. I've done all of mystical agriculture. So that's good. That's one path ticked off. I've started on extreme crafting, but it takes a very long time. I'm not there yet. And most of the way through this, that one's repeatable, so it doesn't ever get a tick on it. I have done it. I need to make more bubble generators. Didn't realize that. It's easy. I need to make all these dolls. And I need to defeat the Chaos Chicken, which is very difficult, so that'll be like the last stream I do of Stone Block, I think. I've done 64% of storage. These should be fairly easy. I don't know what any of this is. And I'm annoyed at this because I've already done it. I just hadn't done them in the right order. So it didn't count. So I've got to do it again. It's frustrating. And I haven't started any of this. Well, one day. But today we are doing cows. Aluminium brass. A real thing? Doesn't sound real. And steel? Yeah. Blue slime. I had blue slime, didn't I? Blue slime. Ah. Cell's given us a little metal fact. What is it? A bronze fact. Any copper alloy can be called bronze if it has enough copper in it. Didn't know that. Molten lead. Alright. Come on, cows. Over here. You're in the way. Come here. Come on, cows. Hey, it's not a factoid, Bernie, because this is not the 2001 show.
Is that a rule that...
That's not a rule.
I think you've just made it up.
Oh. I don't know where my battle axe is. Do this the slow way. Come here.
Did you have stories to tell?
We've got a few stories to tell, I think. A little boy Jerry.
Oh.
That's an alright story to tell, isn't it?
Yeah. I just realized when you put stories in the notification, you meant that I had to tell stories.
Oh no, you don't have to tell stories.
Yeah, Jerry, the yellow bird, he got sick.
Yeah.
Probably our fault. Probably ate something.
Oh, whoops. When I don't know about all birds, but at least cockatiels, when they get sick, they just get fluffy and go to sleep.
Just go in a corner and sleep.
They're really cute.
And he's just offered a 2001 helpful archive. I've been reading through a lot of archives, so I'll add that to the list. And since I don't know German, I'll just guess if it's important. Yeah, all birds tend to do that. They don't really show weakness. They don't want to get eaten, so they just sit off.
They don't want to be abandoned by their flock.
Yeah, so they just follow along but sleep.
Was that the right cow? Yes. Sorry.
So it can be hard to tell if what they've got, like what's wrong with them, is serious or not. Because he could just have like a little sniffle occasionally. Like the other bird, she's gotten a little sniffle every now and then.
Yeah.
Just a few sneezes. And like when it's like that, she'll be acting the exact same way as Jerry was. And Jerry had lost normally 90 grams and he got down to 60 grams.
So he lost, what's that, a third of his weight? Which is so much.
Yeah. Not a third, is it?
Is it? Yeah. 2/3 is 60 and then another third is 90.
Yeah, that's like the easiest of maths.
Yeah. Oh, Boris is sleepy.
Yeah.
Boris has had a big weekend. Well, big 2 days, I guess.
3 days.
3 days? I don't remember.
Yeah, and then he started to vomit.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I didn't realize birds vomited when they were sick. But it makes sense, like they vomit because a lot of animals can't vomit.
Yeah.
But that's how they feed their babies. Yeah. So of course they can.
Sometimes a bird will come up to you and vomit. Like we had a bird when we went to the bird sanctuary. It attempted to vomit on you because it wanted to feed you. But these definitely weren't like.
No,
here,
these
have
were
a meal.
Like the poor thing. You'd just drink some water and then immediately start vomiting.
Yeah.
Poor
So
little
we
thing.
took him to the vet. And they wanted to. Well, firstly they said, "Can you take them to a town that's a bit over an hour away, because that's where the closest avian vet is." The best avian vet is in Brisbane, a couple of hours away. And that's when I had to tell her, well, actually, I've borrowed my sister's car because my car
has a flat tire.
Yeah.
Which is the other.
Yeah, all of these
other story.
All these stories are bad, and they all
link together.
Yeah, that's because the first time that we collected loads of boxes of cardboard, we did that stupid stream where we burnt it all.
And I decided this time that is too bad for the environment and too much of a hassle.
Yeah. And so you forced me.
I said, oh, we can take my car if you want.
Yeah, but you had stuff in it.
Yeah, I have. I never take the cleaning equipment out of my car unless I have to.
Yeah.
Because it's just a hassle to get in and out.
Made more sense to pack the car just full of boxes, because apparently we just collect them. Everything that we...
Well, we order a lot of stuff online.
Yeah, and it comes in...
in big boxes.
Yeah, that don't fit in the bin. And we recycle quite a lot. I think more than the average person. So the recycling bin only gets taken once a fortnight.
And last fortnight, we had so many boxes in there, and it had to get squished down, but it got squished down so much that it didn't come out of the bin when
it got turned upside down, nothing came out.
So we only had a tiny amount of room in our
because usually we'd
recycling bin.
3/4 of the recycling every 2 weeks. And now we had like a room full of boxes to get rid of. Anyway, this is a big story to say. We put a whole bunch of boxes, we flattened them down, put them into my car, and drove them to the dump. Because you can recycle things for free. Mm-hmm. And went and did that. And on the way back, noticed that there was a strange sound coming from my front right tire. Like I could feel it as well in the steering wheel. It sounded like, at first we thought, oh, there's just a rock stuck in the tread. Like,
well, I was hoping.
yeah. But I could feel that there was definitely something wrong. And we stopped, and thankfully it stopped, like pointing right up so I could see it. Quite a large bolt had punctured the tire, but it was in enough to keep it inflated. I thought, okay, well that's all right. Well, it's not all right, but at least it's not
good enough. We can at least drive to the next place we had to go and then home.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really have to go to the next place, but we decided to. And then got home, and by the next day, like it was slowly deflating. So by the next day, and then Bernie's asked, like, don't, I have a spare tire. I do, but it's a new car, so it has this wonderful invention called a space saver, which is a tire.
Sounds like nonsense to me.
I mean, it does mean you get a bigger boot.
Yeah, but I have a hatchback. I've got the biggest boot.
Yeah, and you don't have. Sorry, you don't have a big boot at all. You've got to get rid of 2 seats.
Yeah, but I don't use them anyway.
And then that meant that I had to change over the space saver. But you can, like, the idea with the space saver is it gets you to the tire place, and that's it. Which is what I had planned to do today. Armin said that most modern cars don't even have that. I don't think I see, because I have a Hyundai, I don't see them removing that anytime soon. I might be proven wrong, but of all the car companies, they're pretty, I don't know, what's the word? Resourceful?
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, well there are tires with like run flats and stuff now.
What does that mean?
So if you get a puncture, it fixes itself, but enough just to get you to the...
What? How does that work?
They've existed for a long time, but they used to really only be used on like military things. But now they're a consumer product. I can't remember how it works. I would have known that once. Anyway, the reason that story came up is the birds. And okay, Bernie's gonna be entirely rightfully pedantic about the fact that they don't fix themselves. They just self-seal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
I was confused and very impressed.
But they're not like fixed forever.
Yeah, fixed enough to get you to the next.
Yeah, without damaging your vehicle.
Yeah.
Or making it unsafe to drive. But anyway, the bird's in the vet and just told that he probably needs to go to this other town. And I say, well, actually, my car has a bolt in it. That's what I've got to do next. I've got to go, like, I've made a call. I also had, like, a doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
Straight after that. So just like, I've got to go home quickly, change the tires, and then do that, and then come back, and then take the car to the tire place. And she said, well, I didn't tell her all of that. I just said I couldn't. And she agreed, like, she said that she can do something for him here. It's just they're not experts on birds, and we're worried because he had eaten. We have homemade lights. Like our key lights are these homemade
soft boxes.
Which use aluminium foil.
Which is not safe for birds to eat.
Oh, Armin, this story was just today.
Yeah.
But it has references back to the weekend. It's very boring. All of this is very boring, I should point out. These aren't good stories.
Not really. It's stuff that happens.
Yeah.
And it's stressful.
Yeah.
Like, even if it doesn't sound like it, it is.
I spent pretty much my entire day just fixing the weekend.
Yeah.
Everything that went wrong on the weekend.
I felt so bad because I was like, that's it. This weekend I'm doing a big clean. I'm cleaning out all the boxes. And that made Boris get a bolt in his wheel. In his tire.
Jerry was slowly getting sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, thankfully they took him in and they said we're going to keep him overnight. And it's really good that have a bird that likes people, and like, he wasn't scared at all. Every person and dog that walked into the room he said hello to.
Oh, he's so good.
And, like, got him out and looked around. He's a bit wary at the moment because he's been poked and prodded all day.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's still trusting. But yeah, so I sent him away. They were going to give him fluids and feed him because he wasn't eating or anything like that. They injected his legs with water.
Sorry, I'm just going to interrupt. And a bolt can puncture a tire if you run over it.
I don't actually know that it was a bolt. It looked like a bolt head.
Yeah, it had a bolt head, and they do have pointed bolts. I've bought one. Bought a big, massive one. Which have like a screw end. At
the dump, so
yeah,
like literally it could be anything. Anything, yeah. Oh yeah. So she said she's gonna feed him, X-ray him, look for the reason why we were talking about the aluminium foil is that throughout recordings, or just any time we're in the office, Jerry likes to fly in, land on top of the light boxes and chew the foil. And it doesn't matter how many times I tell him to stop and like chase him away from it, he just comes straight back and just again and again and again. And so he might have just eaten a lot of aluminium foil.
Yeah. And because they can get metal poisoning really quickly because they're tiny.
Yeah. And she was worried about there being a
blockage.
A blockage. A little ball of, because he picks them off and then screws them up into balls.
And then usually spits them out. Yeah. But
we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah.
So that would have meant bird surgery or like going through his beak to pull something out. That would be a big deal. But yeah, I'd hand him over for what I thought was going to be a night's stay, and then rush off to go home. And today was a hot day. It got to 30.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it got to 37.
A lot hotter than most of the other days have been.
Yeah.
That was an awkward way of saying that.
And obviously just humid.
Mm.
And so I've got my car in the garage, and then start using, like, because it's a front right, and then you can't put a space saver on the front. You got to put it on the back. That meant that I had to take the back tire off, and then put the space saver on there, and then take the front tire off and put the back tire on the front. So it was just a needlessly long thing, and the jack that comes with the car is also a space saver. It feels like.
Oh, no.
It took, like, the actual changing of the tire was easy. Like, I've done that plenty of times before.
Yeah.
But the jack on this took so long, and it took effort.
Yeah.
Like a jack, you should just like twirl a thing and then it goes up. And I don't have any tools of my own. Not like that. I've got all like tools for work, but not car things.
Yeah.
So like I'm rushing to get this undone. And I've not jacked up the car before, so like finding the jack point and all this sort of stuff that, you know, it's all easy, but when you've got half an hour to do it.
Yeah,
like,
and you've not done it on that particular car before.
Yeah, and I don't want to
damage it. Yeah, like I've seen a video of someone trying to jack their car up and they didn't put it on a jack point and they're just destroying their car, like just bending it.
So, yeah, I do that. I get the back off, and while I'm doing this, I've literally sweated a puddle because I'm in this enclosed garage, which I don't know. Later on, I left the garage open, and it didn't make any difference. It was just as hot. In like my semi-decent, like my decent casual clothes.
Leaving the house clothes.
Yeah, not the ratty old clothes that you wear around the house. I don't think to change them before I start.
Oh, I guess, yeah, you would press for time.
Yeah. Finally get it jacked off. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. And then I jacked up the car and get the back tire off, put the space saver on, and then go, like, I've got to go. It's too late. Go to the appointment, and then that doesn't end until. So when you got home, I got home maybe 5 minutes, a bit more before. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, really not that long before.
Yeah.
Because I get back and it's time to go to the next place, and I've still got one tire to change, and I can't go fast on that tire either. No.
Not that you should be going fast in town anyway.
Yeah.
Even if you're late.
So I pull that one off and then put the other one on as fast as that jack would allow, and just the effort. Like I've gotten fairly unfit over the past few months, and like that combined with a bad jack just meant that I was. Oh, and I'd also quickly scoffed down a meal on the way. So like I was
What did
full.
you get?
I stopped at a cafe and I got just like this sandwich thing.
Ah.
But it was big.
Yeah.
And I also got a milk drink. So, like, I was full on milk. And, like,
terrible.
Quickly bobbing up and down, sloshing my stomach around in a very hot, like, if it was 37 outside, then it was definitely more inside that garage.
Oh, yeah.
I just didn't want to be out in the sun getting burnt.
Mm.
But I still think I am actually burnt because I parked my sister's car. She wasn't using it today, so I was driving that around. I parked that like just up the driveway a little bit. When I came home, I didn't close the garage door, so it was open and the sun was shining off of her windscreen. And I reckon I've gotten sunburnt in the garage.
Oh no!
From the reflected sun. Because it's on weird bits, like under my ears. And yeah, I finally get that one on. The whole of my shirt is just drenched because that's just who I am. And I think a normal person would be in that situation. But thankfully, like in between these two times, I did change a shirt. So this time I put a black shirt on so it wouldn't look so bad. Because a light pink shirt was not good for that. It went brown.
Oh.
I don't know what's in my sweat to turn pink brown. But yeah, like it looks like I've just gotten out of a shower, essentially. Yeah. I go, well, I've got to go. And this is when, like, I had just finished removing the jack from the car and then putting the other car back in the garage when you got home.
Yeah.
And I didn't even say anything to you. I just left.
Yeah, no, I could tell you're in a rush.
Yeah. And then I called the place, like, on the way saying, it's already 10 minutes late. Is it, like, is it all right if I'm later? And then they were like, oh, yeah, we didn't even notice because we're, like, an hour and a half late ourselves.
Oh, yeah, so you didn't have to rush around so much.
If I'd called them first, I wouldn't have had to rush. And then, yeah, get there and then sit in the thing for ages because they took ages to get to my car. You did offer to pick me up, but I was just like, I'm just going to sit in the aircon here and just stare at a wall. Annoyingly, they had Sky News on, which is
God,
like the Australian equivalent of Fox News. And so I had to listen to a lot of that. That made it worse. But eventually I waited for it. I was thinking, like, well, the worst thing would be like a new tire, about $100. And wait for them for a bit to fit it. But once they got to my car, it really didn't take long because they could just repair it. So hopefully the repair lasts as long as the other 3 tires. And then I was fully prepared for a phone call telling me that the bird was worse and had to go take him to Nambour, the other place. And didn't get that call. And also I got a package, 3 packages, all exactly the same, all 2001 Xbox and PlayStation 2 games. I buy a lot of them. And 2 of them they left at the door because I've arranged for everything that comes to be left at the door. But there's one category that I can't, and that's what someone sent it as. So then I had to go and pick up Shadow of Memories, or Shadow of Destiny was the other name for it. It's really not worth it. Like that game was not worth buying, let alone having to go pick it up. But the good news is that on the way, well, as part of the run to go pick it up, a little bit earlier we got the news that Jerry was acting all good.
Yeah, he was all
and
better.
it was probably better to bring him home than put him through a night in an unfamiliar place.
Yeah.
Apparently she said over the phone that he's very vocal.
Very vocal. Aww. Poor Jerry.
But they took him out for a little play.
Oh,
They took him out in the middle of the day because he was feeling like he looked like he was feeling better after his sort of equivalent of an IV of saline, and they used some baby bird food.
Apparently he really liked that.
Yeah, with a syringe, because that's how he was fed growing up, so he just goes back to baby mode. And yeah, so he was feeling, he wasn't sleeping all the time. He was up and about. He wanted to come out, so they got him out. Apparently he flew around, but like in a good way, not like panicking. Just flew from person to person and would run from shoulder to shoulder, and he just seemed concerned about our whereabouts.
Oh, poor Jerry.
And then when it came to picking him up, it was after hours, so we had to press this little buzzer to be let into the building. Like someone had to come open the door. And we were waiting there for quite a while and thinking, like, should we press the buzzer again? Like, did it not work? It was kind of that long. And just as we started that conversation, we hear these toots from inside. There's yells of a bird. And then as soon as he saw us, as soon as like we opened the door and came in, he just instantly quiet and then fluffed up and started preening, and he was happy. He just wanted to know where we were. But he seemed a lot better. So we don't have a...
We don't have a dead bird.
Yeah.
Yay.
Hopefully tomorrow he'll be good. He's pooping again. That's always a good sign.
Yeah. Well, he was pooping the whole time, which I was confused about. Because he wasn't eating anything, but he was still pooping.
He wasn't pooping, he was peeing.
Oh.
It was just the urea. The white bit of bird's poop is pee.
No, but it wasn't white.
Oh, was it like the black stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's more like bile-ish stuff.
It was like a weird yellow colour.
Yeah, it's supposed to be green.
Yeah. And not mostly liquid.
Yeah, it was. Birds' poops aren't supposed to be any liquid, really.
Yeah.
They don't want to be flying around carrying extra liquid, so they've got a really good system. That's why they don't...
That's why it all comes out the same hole.
Yeah, and they don't pee. It's just like a pee concentrate.
Should probably get rid of all this cobble. Look, I've got a whole screen of cobble.
Oh. Yeah, our sentences didn't really run together well. So you interjected with, we don't have a dead bird, and then I said, which hopefully tomorrow he will be. You spent all of Sunday mowing.
All the mowing. Yeah. Because the stinky neighbour gave me a fright to start off with, and then told us to mow our lawn or we'll get kicked out, which is not true. But I couldn't not mow the lawn after he said that.
I would have done the opposite. I think I would have intentionally
let it grow.
Yeah. Just leave a square that he can see. But it was kind of my fault because I decided that I like bugs.
Yeah, I am sad about all the bugs, all the insects.
And mowing lawns is a bad thing for bugs.
Mm.
So I just went, well, we don't use that part of the yard. My plan was just to keep it off the fence, so it doesn't go through the fence.
Mm-hmm.
And then just let that section grow. And then when we need to, like when the real estate comes around or whatever, we'll just get rid of it. We wouldn't like let it get out of control.
Yeah.
And need heavy duty equipment to come get it to mow it. But that section was like,
oops. Yeah, it was unfortunate that the only part of our yard he could see is the worst of our whole yard.
That was the bug bit.
Yeah, it was a bit where all the bugs. Well, he was talking about snakes, which is fair. But
see, I don't think that.
Where else are they meant to live if not in people's yards?
Yeah.
Some people have got to let snakes live in their yards.
I'm fine with snakes.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like his tone.
No, yeah, his tone was
that
yuck.
Neighbor. Thankfully, they're moving. They're selling their house. But
and says snakes can go back to hell. That's fair too, honestly.
well,
But they do a good job. They do good jobs of keeping rodent population down.
And we can't use our lawn for anything, really.
Yeah.
We're not, like, we don't need we've got a pretty
We've got a
large,
big yard.
Yeah, a big suburban backyard, but
it's hot and there's no trees, there's no plants at all.
We're not allowed to put anything in it.
We're not allowed to plant anything.
So I don't know what we're supposed to do.
We've just got to mow it till we die or move.
Yeah. And it's not flat.
No.
Nothing in this town is flat.
But yeah, so you can't even like use it for much stuff.
Like a sport.
Yeah.
If you wanted to do something. And no, Bernie, we're not allowed to pave it. We'd have to
pay for it, which is stupid
and
because
get approval.
Yeah, we'd have to get it approved. I am thinking about buying pavers for that snake section and not doing it properly, just putting them down so that the grass doesn't grow. And then taking them when we leave because it's a rental. So the plan is not to be here forever.
I just kind of wanted to let the grass grow, not a lot, just enough. Like we've got kookaburras that essentially live with us now.
Yeah.
One of them spends all day by the bananas out the back.
Yeah.
They're always like, we've fed them a couple of times. They're not that quiet, but because we had like they sit on the fence and just stare at the long grass all day.
Yeah.
And I saw one
Just
the
waiting.
other day. Once it saw something, it just dove straight in and then gobbled it before we'd even left. Like it flew away again. And so because we had longer grass, we had kookaburras waiting on the fence looking at that long grass, like eating bugs and lizards and whatever else is in it.
And we have sprayed the snake section with weed killer. I think, did you do that or just the pathway?
Yeah, I just did one bit.
Ah, that's all right. It's mowed now, so it's fine.
That's coming.
Yeah. There's so many chickens.
And kookaburras eat snakes as well, so
yeah.
like, everything balances out. You're not going to get like an infestation of snakes because you've got some long grass. But I guess we're going to have to just keep mowing it now.
Okay, I've got to make these things. Seven of them. Yay.
You're not that afraid of snakes, are you?
No. Oh, no. A surprise snake is never very nice.
Yeah.
Not a fan of surprise snakes. But as long as I'm not near them, then they're fine. Fine with them.
I grew up with a lot of them, so I just sort of quickly realized that they don't want anything to do with you.
No. Okay.
And the place, the second place that I lived at and grew up, we went there once after the house had been demolished because they demolished that house for a new highway. That's the only time that you went there. Hang on, there's a cat wanting to go on my lap. I'm not doing kitty cam this time.
No. What stops an autonomous mower being stolen from your front yard?
Yeah, that place that we're at, it had a dam that was not... Oh, she's pressing buttons on the keyboard. Each. Yeah, there was a dam that wasn't far from the house, like a few meters really, which meant that this is where I started recording as well, because I'd moved into a granny flat at my parents' at the time, like early piston tutorial kind of thing.
Yes.
Which means that on a lot of videos of hot summer nights, you can just hear frogs and toads. Because the dam was not far from where I was recording and I couldn't close the window because it was too hot. Yeah, but that dam was also just full of snakes.
Oops.
Because they would swim this particular one. I think they were rough scale snakes. They were just like swimming back and forward in their little patch, their little what do you call it? Territory. Their little bit of dam that they'd claim for themselves. They would just patrol back and forward looking for frogs. And then if you went to the edge of one territory, you would get the next one. So all around the edge of the dam, there were just different snakes going back and forward. And then there was an island in the middle of that dam there were so many in that island. And to stop this from becoming and they mostly like water, but to stop this from becoming a problem, up near the house, we kind of adopted, there's a snake called a red-bellied black snake.
Red-bellied black snake. Very venomous.
Yeah, very venomous, but also...
very docile.
Yeah, shy. They don't like people.
Yeah, maybe docile is the wrong word. Oh, that's
you can't just like pick them up.
No. Don't pick them up.
But they're more scared of people than other snakes, which are already scared. So you, like, even if they're nearby, you tend to never see them. And also they are highly territorial with other snakes.
Yeah, so they'll chase other snakes away from your yard.
Yeah.
Which is good if you've got...
Well, not just chase, they'll eat.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Very good if you've got brown snakes, which are very venomous and very aggressive. Yay, Australia. And a quick interjection. Yes, I should be getting these things out with something rather than my hands, but I've not got that far yet. Sorry. You can keep.
We kept that one around the house. I'd often just hide in a drain. So, like, it was a drain with a grate on it. So you walk over top of the grate, but if you look down between the cracks of the grate, you could see a snake. And it obviously thought we couldn't see it. That's where it would hide, and it would keep all the other snakes away from the house for us. And in return, it got the occasional frog that would be like in the downpipe, the gutters of the house when it rained. There was one time where it was a very dry summer, and towards the end of this summer, it rained heavily. So all of the frogs just went, "This is our chance. This is our moment to breed. We've been waiting for months." And they just start hopping from everywhere. Like the green tree frogs will just like hide under a leaf or something for months. And this was their chance. So you just look out over the yard and there's frogs everywhere. And this is when all of the rough-scaled snakes just went, well, they're all out on the grass, so we better be as well. And this was just as I was walking around, and like I went out there in the rain, because like there'd not been rain for months, so I was just like, I'm going out in the rain. And oh, look at all these frogs, isn't that interesting? Oh, there's I can see 6 snakes. And they're all going fast, and then it was just like a war zone within a few seconds of frogs being gobbled up. And there was one frog where I could see its face and its front 2 legs, and then the back 2 legs, and the second half of its body was in the snake's mouth. So it was just like an open mouth, just screaming. Just screaming at me. And like I was maybe a meter away from this. It was like on the ground at my feet. And so I had to like slowly kind of tiptoe my way back to the house with snakes just going everywhere chasing frogs. Trying to not accidentally step on any of them. But despite this traumatizing experience, I still like snakes. Wouldn't go near one.
I don't know how you make a hopper. How do you make a hopper? That's a bucket. Who? I don't know. Oh, a chest, of course.
That all came from you mowing.
Yeah.
Because you mowed so much. I felt
all
really bad.
Day. What
just
a
mowed
hassle.
and played Minecraft.
Oh, stupid chests. Can't I put a chest here? I want them all to go into one chest. That's not how it works.
Yeah. Put 3 side by side.
Can't.
You can't, you like, like crouch or whatever?
No.
And like if you get rid of this one, yeah, can't you put that next to it?
No.
That's how Minecraft works, isn't it?
No. Can't put 3 chests next to each other. Oh. I'm fixing the problem. Just moving it 1 block away. It'll be fine. Ta-da. Okay, the hoppers to a single hopper. I think so, but I don't know how. So this is what we're doing. Perfect. Does it just take ages? I can't accelerate them at all. Okay. Oh, I don't know what that last one was.
I agree with Almond that I'm glad Australia doesn't have proper predators.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bears and large, like big cats. Only reckons that snakes are proper predators, but they're not.
Not to us.
Yeah. Like a snake doesn't want to waste its venom on something it can't eat.
Yeah.
It's only ever an accident.
Or out of like sheer desperation.
Then you get something like a leopard that sees
yeah.
like a human child and goes,
yum.
Yeah, that's a good size.
Are bears fast? I think I would assume they are. They're big.
I've seen them running. They're fast. I mean, not in person. I don't think I've ever seen a bear in person.
No, I have. But in a zoo.
Yeah, I mean, even in a like zoo or whatever, I don't think I've seen a bear.
Okay, gold, resonant ender. Copper, bronze, brass. I thought I had gold over here. These cows. No, I'm not going to use these cows for anything.
56 kilometers per hour for grizzly bears is what Bernie's looked up. I would assume they wouldn't be able to hold that.
Probably not.
For long, but even if they ran for a little while, that they could chase down a person. And yeah, we've got dingoes, which aren't like they're native, but they're not.
Yeah, they're just wild dogs.
Yeah, brought over tens of thousands of years ago, but they killed off, or helped kill off, along with people, a lot of the placental, the non-placental mammals like marsupials that were here, like the Tasmanian wolf used to be called a Tasmanian tiger.
Oh. Well, that was people, mostly people.
Yeah. Oh, No, because it used to not just be in Tasmania.
Oh,
That used to
no.
be across a lot of the continent.
Yeah.
But the dingoes are just better
Just
at
ate
being
them
a
all.
dog than this thing that's not a dog.
What did I do with all my seeds? Oh.
So, like, dingoes never made it to Tasmania.
No.
So, this dog-like marsupial managed to stay there for long enough for people to see, like Europeans, until Europeans killed them all.
Mm.
And because dingoes have been here for so long, they're native now. But people don't, like, rarely ever come into contact with them.
Yeah.
Because, like the Tasmanian wolf, they were killed a lot. They were pushed back, and then fences were built to keep them out. So they're way out west. We do occasionally get them through here, but it's
Dingoes.
Rare. Yeah.
We get wild dogs a lot, but I don't know about dingoes.
And yeah, because of wild dogs, like domesticated dogs going out and breeding with dingoes, the actual remaining true dingoes are starting to go down.
Yeah.
I think dogs scare me more than snakes.
Yeah. I get that.
Because that's why they're so successful, is they work together in teams. Like a snake might give you a fright as it slithers out and you didn't realize it was there. But if some dogs decide they want to eat you, they can. Bernie has asked if he can just, like, we can just scorch Australia, like full on nuking, but without the radiation. I would say there's no need because we're doing a pretty good job on our own.
That's a good point. Rough. I don't think we can remove the middle of Australia. Don't deserts reflect a lot of light back into the...
More than a dark thing, I guess.
Yeah. Deserts keeping the world cool, weirdly.
There used to be an ocean in middle of Australia. Explorers, before anyone had explored the middle of Australia, thought, well, like, this makes complete sense. Everywhere else we've gone, there would be an ocean around about here. And a whole bunch of people set off and a whole bunch of people died. The occasional one made it back and just said, no, it's nothing. There's nothing for the whole way.
And they mate through a fence. Yes.
What can we use as a building material other than concrete?
Didn't you watch a video on that the other day? Mushrooms.
Yeah, but not
good
perfect.
Yet.
Yeah.
It'll get
not
better.
strong enough.
Recycled plastic. I don't know. Cobble. Hi, Mia. Ah, I didn't see that Mia was in the chat. I was going to show you the worm, but I thought you weren't here.
Yeah, he said that
He's been here for ages.
He's glad that it's still alive. That's what he said earlier.
Mm-hmm. Good worm. I wish I could feed it, but I guess it's getting fed by just being here. Armin says bread.
I guess if you leave some sorts of bread to go stale, they're really hard.
Yeah. Yeah, have you ever left a sourdough out by accident? Bread would turn into mushroom. Actually, yeah, that's a good point. It goes really, really hard and then it goes back to being soft.
Yeah. Just have buildings made of mold.
Aww. We're getting there with these chickens.
Wet wheat Bix's mortar.
Yeah.
That's one of the challenges of the next half century. Is finding places to get sand for concrete. Because desert sand doesn't work.
No.
You specifically need sand off certain beaches. We've just dug up all of the beaches and turned them into flat areas, car parks. Make more beaches. Yes.
Perfect.
In a way, you might be headed in the right direction, as in artificially make sand the way that it needs to be to... Yeah, because it's like the erosion of waves and stuff, I think. I don't know. Yeah. I'm probably talking nonsense, but that's why the desert sand doesn't work. It doesn't stick in the right way.
It's not fine enough or something. Or like, it's just not the right shape and size and doesn't have the right grooves in it.
Armin saying drain the ocean, scoop it off the ground. That's called dredging.
And they do that, don't they?
Yeah. Well, yeah. A lot of the time, dredging is mostly done to maintain beaches. Because a lot of beaches shouldn't exist. They're artificially made. That was when I was 15, we had like a geography assignment on that. We had to go to Noosa and look at the beach and look at the history of it. Essentially, the history was there was a really nice beach, and then people built along it, and then it eroded. And then everyone went, well, now our houses are worthless. Somebody come and fix the beach. And so ever since then, they've artificially been building a beach on the main street.
People are yuck.
To be fair to the original people that moved there, they probably didn't have a great idea about how that sort of thing worked.
Dragon's breath. Dragon's breath. Just scoop it up. Kill a dang dragon. Easy. Oh.
Cell says a school assignment on dredging. Sounds dreadful. I didn't mind a lot of it. Except for the bit where they made us go snorkeling in the Noosa River. Actually, it wasn't in the river. It was in one of the canals that came off of it. And like it just wasn't nice. It wasn't clean. The place that they took us to, there was just rubbish on the bottom of the like on the, is it called a canal bed? I don't know. It was like where the river opened up into the canal. And I can't even remember what we were supposed to be looking for. We were supposed to be looking for something, but I remember having to swim around for ages, just looking at the bottom of, like looking at some mud on the ground, just going like, well, this, like all of this is just man-made, really. It's oh,
Uh-oh.
are we still on stream? I assume we're still on stream because the lights didn't go out. I think we just had either a power surge or like a brownout.
Yeah.
The UPSs on the computer kept us up, but
yeah. Bye, UPS. Yeah. They're so good.
And the thing that I was always thinking about while snorkeling is that those rivers and the canals in Noosa have bull sharks.
Oh, those are big, scary sharks.
Yeah, they're quite aggressive. And it's just like they've let a whole bunch of children just into these rivers. I think people would swim there relatively often, but people have been attacked by them, and I already don't like water. Like, I don't like swimming pools because you can drown in them. I don't like open river water that leads to the sea that is full of sharks and rubbish and sharp things.
All right. I'm stopping that.
Charles pointed out that I can drown in the sink, and Bernie's said the bath.
Yeah.
Could.
Boris doesn't like baths, so you can drown.
I don't mind baths.
You've told me that you don't like baths.
Okay,
I remember one time I told you to take a bath and you refused. He stopped and looked at me.
It's sort of like it's all right. I don't really find them that enjoyable.
That's fair.
Because my chest is all compressed and
you don't like the water feeling.
Yeah. And it's kind of claustrophobia.
Yeah.
But I'll do it. It's fine. And I would say that the sink is probably fine. Like I would say the unconscious rule. If you pass out while swimming, like in a pool, then you're dead.
It's a blue sheep.
If you pass out or like washing the dishes, you'll probably not land face first in the water in the exact way to drown. You could, but the odds of it are far less.
Oh, finally.
And that's why a shower is also fine. You're not surrounded by water. If you pass out, then glass is probably more of a problem than drowning. I do want an automatic shower, though.
Actually, yeah.
I'm sure they exist. I don't know how much better they are, but essentially I want a dishwasher, but for people. It wouldn't have to be as thorough. Yeah, I've gone on a water slide.
Oh man, I love water slides. They're so good.
Went to this, I don't know whether it still exists. I can't remember where it was. on this dodgy water slide place.
Mm.
I think it was near Beerwah or something like that.
Seems like the kind of place that would have a water slide.
Yeah. And it was really quite good. We went when we were 17, and the place was filled with children, so we felt a little bit out of place. And it was for someone's birthday. Like, someone who was 17 wanted to go to this water slide. So we... the tube ones. No, I've not been on a tube one.
No. Yeah, I've not been in a tube one.
It was quite big. Like, it just winded back and forth. And like, had big banks to go up on. And then would have like a pool halfway down. And you'd continue on if you wanted to.
Okay, something I was doing needed platinum. I realized I didn't make a platinum chicken. Now, platinum and ender pearl. Right.
You want a slightly scandalous water slide story?
Absolutely.
When I was 17,
I've got a very quick, not scandalous story about a water slide after your story.
Oh, okay. So the girlfriend that I had, she was younger than me by 2 years, which is a bit like 17 to 15 is a bit.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. You're looking at me. You're judging me.
I'm looking at you like I'm not more than 2 years younger than you.
Yeah, but we're adults now.
Yeah, it's different when you're in your teens.
We were just graduating too, so I would have had a girlfriend that was in school while I was out of school.
Oh, that's weird, Boris.
But it didn't go that far.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not what the story's about.
Yeah, you can judge me later.
Yeah.
You
big dumb cows.
She hadn't. So her her brother, who was also my friend, which made it a little bit weird. He was the one with the birthday. So he had invited me as his friend, and then she was there as his sister.
Right.
And she had, like, literally the day before told her parents about us. And I had to go on the car ride down. Her mum drove a bunch of us. And I sat up the front of this big people mover, and then the back was like filled with all of my friends. And they had to listen to me have like the first conversation with her mum, where she was like gently questioning me and all this stuff. And when I got there, it sort of decided like we don't really feel comfortable in front of her parents, because we were kids, and her dad was like the sort of dad that was like, no one's ever going near my daughter. So we just sort of decided, no, we're gonna not do anything. We're just gonna say hi and shake hands. Not quite, but like that level of interaction.
Yeah.
Like we were there for his birthday. We kissed on the slide on the way down.
Oh, how?
Like it was a slow bit that would just before the next. We could have been hit by someone. Like it slowed down before we went. I can't quite remember how.
Because The water slides that I've been on
Yeah, they were fast.
are fast, and you can only fit one person
Yeah, but this was like, there was a pool halfway down.
halfway down.
Yeah, there were 2 stages to it.
Ah, okay. I've only ever been on ones where it's just one big slide.
It was quite a big
yeah.
water slide. So it was like...
Now I want to go to a water slide.
like just around the corner to one of them so no one could see us. And also, one of my ex-girlfriends was there because she was just, part of our friend group.
Yeah.
So she was just there as well.
Where'd that other cow go? Yeah.
I was an idiot in school.
My less good story is that one time I was at a water slide and the stairs to this water slide were just horrendous. Like, I don't know how they got built. Like, there's no way they were up to whatever kind of code there is for water slide building. Because they were so narrow. They're about this. How big do you think that is? Like 10 centimeters?
Yeah.
They're about that wide, and they're so steep, and they're concrete, and there's like, what do you call it? There's like a big bit in the stairs, like there's all stairs, and then one big flat bit, and then more stairs. It did that, like, it does that all the way up. And oh, hi, Silent Assassin. We're talking about water slides. And so these water slide stairs would be packed full of wet kids. They're concrete, skinny stairs, like just super steep as well. And people would sometimes like try and push up to try and get further in the line, even though there's a line. And so people would slip on them all the time. And I watched a kid slip on the stairs. Luckily, he wasn't too high up. But he slipped on the stairs, fell backwards through all the people, and cracked his head on the concrete. Because you know what's at the bottom of steep stairs?
Yeah.
Concrete. He was okay. But he had to lay down until the ambulance got there, and then he went in the ambulance. But he
could have died.
He could have died, but he didn't.
So
he was okay.
No, we'll just
He
assume
ended up being
that
okay.
as soon as they shut the doors to the ambulance, he died.
No, the ambulance didn't have its siren or lights on. I guess maybe he could have been dead. I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's not an emergency.
It's not an emergency.
No, he didn't.
The one that I went to was also all, I don't know, like the water slide would shake and rattle as you went down.
Yeah, I think that's normal.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like buildings do that. They sway
Yeah.
in the wind and stuff.
The whole thing just seemed to not be quite right. It was down the side of a hill, so it wasn't like, yeah. The stairs were fine. Someone else asked something, but I can't.
Oops.
Almira's reported me to the water slide authorities. Walking the slide is illegal. And no, she was not in the pool with me as well.
Wait. What?
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
She was not in the pool at the same time.
I'm so confused.
How?
How? What do you mean she wasn't in the pool?
What do you mean? Like,
Where was she?
I don't know, somewhere else, off in the...
And how'd you...
This is the ex-girlfriend.
Oh, right. That makes a lot more sense.
I'm just saying that I'm getting confused with all of my past women.
No, I'm getting confused with all Boris's past women.
The sad bit is that all of the past women stop there.
Oh.
Once I'm out of school, then they don't just like, school is like a forced place for people to come together.
I've already done
And
this.
once you're an adult, like you have to actually make an effort and go out of your way.
So I've got molten nickel. Done. Doing that one. Doing that one.
You want me to tell a story?
Hmm?
Do you want me to tell a story?
Of how we met.
No, but now I feel bad.
Ah.
That's nice.
What story were you going to tell?
Past women.
Ah. I just read Bernie's message. Saying that
Oh, right. No,
apparently you made an effort with me.
I don't know if I did.
No.
I kind of did because I was already
so.
in bed.
Yeah, true.
And then my sister, who
I was already friends with.
Yeah, asked me as like she wanted more people for a kind of get-together party.
Yeah, because it was just me and her.
Yeah. So she wanted more.
And then 2 friends ended up coming after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I guess I was quite low on the list.
Aww.
By the time she got to me, it's just like, oh, well, I guess I'll ask him to come. And
well, she was saying that you don't really do stuff like that. That's why she never invited you to things like that.
Yeah.
Because she just assumed you wouldn't want to. So she didn't bother inviting. But apparently you had started being more social.
Trying to be more social.
So she thought, maybe I should invite Boris.
But yeah, she messaged me and then I said, yeah, I'll come. And I didn't want to because like I'd already gotten into bed at like 8 o'clock.
And you had like cricket training or something like that.
Oh, I would have played
a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And at the time I was getting up really early too. So that was just what yeah. But yeah, I was trying to force myself to be more social. So I was just like, oh, well, I guess I should go. Put some clothes on and went over to her house and then you were there. Mm-hmm. So I guess
and
that was
I
a bit
wasn't
of effort.
supposed to be drinking. So I had a big weekend the weekend before and I was like, yeah, I should not drink ever again. But I took some emergency tequila just in case I wanted to drink. I ended up drinking all of it.
Mira's asked, what was the first awkward thing that I said to you?
I
think
don't
at
remember.
the time, I don't mean this to sound bad, but I think you were probably more awkward than me.
Probably, yeah.
But I did.
You kept just asking me questions. So you just had me talking all night.
When I find someone that I'm interested in, like not necessarily romantically, just
in general.
Yeah. So as soon as you started talking, I want to hear more of these things. Yeah, and then I just start. So I guess that's awkward in that I just ask question after question after question. Because in my mind, that shows interest.
Mm. I mean, it worked.
Yeah. Because I had... I just assumed that you wouldn't be interested in me. I guess that's a fairly low self-esteem. And at one point I was trying to hook you up with other people.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because we'd left the house.
Yeah, we ended up going to a pub and then a club.
Mm, which did not suit me. Is there something that you remember that was awkward?
Do you remember there being a slight misunderstanding, but like it was barely anything, and I don't remember what it was about. So it doesn't really matter. What a good story.
Bernie's said, at what point did you start asking questions back?
Never. I've never asked Boris a question about himself.
It wasn't that night. It was afterwards when we...
Yeah, we started like talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess me just constantly asking you questions meant that...
Yeah, we had like this like back and forth questions for a while. It was cute. It was difficult. I had to keep coming up with questions. I'm not good at it. Oh, this is another thing I did over the weekend. I built a tree room. That's not all the trees in the game. I've still got a fair few to go. I got sick of doing it. Oh, another fun fact. That night, Boris's sister broke her leg. Or her foot.
Yeah.
There was one awkward thing that we remember.
If it's quiet there for a moment, it's because I had to check to make sure it was okay. So did you want to say it or do I say it?
You can say it.
This was after the club, where I had pretended where I knew how to dance.
We didn't do any dancing. We just sat down the whole time.
We did a bit.
A little bit, but not
I
much.
remember being really scared about it.
Oh, poor Boris.
Yeah. I just sort of jiggled everything enough until you decided it was fine. And yeah, then eventually decided to go back to my place. My car was parked at my sister's place.
Yeah, because that's where we like started the night.
Yeah. And I'm gonna find out
Googling
how far the place because they're not that far driving.
No.
And yeah, so we got a taxi back to where I was, and that's when I realized that earlier in the night I had done something which was intended to be.
It's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I do it a lot. Like
Yeah.
if I don't need my car keys, I don't take my car keys.
Leave them where the car is. Oops.
Yeah, because otherwise, like I'll lose them on a night out.
Yeah.
And I then, hang on, sorry. I know this is a disjointed story. I'm trying to Google at the same time. Okay. Yeah, so I get there and then like realize, oh, I left my keys at my sister's place and we've just gotten a taxi to my place. So there's no way to get through the door.
Yeah, because his house keys are attached to his car keys.
Yeah.
Like most
what about
people.
the spare key? And oh no, because I used to live with my sister. She'd moved out at this point. And she'd lost her key and then taken the spare key to use and then never replaced it. So, there's no spare key. Never mind. I've come home. Like one time, watched a show in Brisbane, came back. It was 1 a.m. and realized again, I'd gotten a lift down. So my keys are inside. I'd locked my keys inside the house.
Oh, no.
So I had opened broken in the window to the bedroom, which was like the window just to the right of the front door. You could slide the fly screen out and then get in. But for whatever reason, that night, while you were standing there waiting awkwardly, I was just like, I'm sure I can get through this fly screen. And just making a lot of banging sounds and never got there. And then I was like embarrassed and said, well, I guess we'll have to go to my sister's house, which I've just checked now is a 40-minute walk. And
we chatted more.
yeah, so we just talked the whole way. We could have gotten a lift again, I suppose, but
yeah, but we didn't want to spend the money.
Yeah, and the same taxi driver would probably just come straight back. I would have felt weird.
Put the wrong cow in here. Oh, I need to pick that cow up. And
What was your first impression once you, obviously not this time, but the next time that you did come around? What was your impression of my living space?
it was good. I was impressed that you lived on your own. Because almost everyone I knew didn't live on their own.
Wasn't really by choice.
Oh,
People just kept moving out until I was the only one left.
yeah.
I spent so long cleaning.
Aww.
In my, like, it wasn't like it was really messy or anything. Just in the way that I do. I start cleaning one thing and go,
Yeah.
oh, this needs cleaning too. And then suddenly I've lost like 2 days. And I hadn't cleaned the one thing that I wanted to clean.
I don't know which cows to... Got a lead cow in here. This cow's ready.
And then I made you Well, Cell said there's nobody else to keep the house dirty except for 2 birds.
Yeah.
I
Not-
made
right,
you
isn't it?
pick the movie.
Yeah.
I thought
Oh, that's
I thought you would like that better, watching something that you knew
yeah.
that you
I do
liked.
like that.
Because I had no idea what
Keep
you'd
picking the wrong
liked, really,
cows.
even though I'd asked you a million questions.
Yeah. Oops. Oh no.
And I knew I would be fine with anything.
Mm.
But now I know that you just hate picking your own things.
No, that's okay. I think it's fine.
And the food that I made you didn't like.
Yeah, but that's all normal stuff. Like, it's not like you didn't know what I liked.
Yeah.
It's the right thing, wasn't it? Okay. Like that's not a deal breaker. Not ready. No. They're all ready. So, nickel, silver. All of those cows are wrong. Alright, nickel can go away.
I don't know if food did come up in the interrogation cell. Some mentions of it, but like I'm not that interested in food. I probably selfishly just ignored it as a topic.
Yeah. I like food. I like food a lot. All I do is think about food. Man, I've got all of these things to fill up with cows. So many. It takes such a long time.
Gotta keep working.
4, 3, 4. Wait for it to finish. 8, 10, 7. I don't know the screenshot you're talking about, Bernie. Screenshot of Emma Stone that was turned into a meme. Nine, 10, 10. 10, 10.
Do you want me to tell the teenage Boris story?
Well, I didn't know you when you were a teenager.
Yeah, well that's why I was gonna tell the story so you could judge me more.
Sure.
There's a picture for you first.
A picture.
I don't have to because it doesn't reflect well on me.
You can do whatever you want, Boris.
I have told the story on stream before, but it was well before I met you, and I was quite drunk. In fact, I think I included people's real names and advised everyone to look them up on Facebook.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I know, but I was drunk.
Yeah. That's not an excuse.
Yeah, I know. Oh, before I can do it, I need 3 female names. But
Catherine.
Oh, I meant from the chat.
Oh,
but
well, there's
you
one.
can work too. You can do that. Okay. So Catherine, Emma, Sana,
Janoodle.
Hilda. No soup ladies. That doesn't work. There's already a soup lady. That's a Sal thing.
Ah.
I think I'm gonna go Janoodle. Sorry, Sal.
Janoodle is very good.
Okay, so this would have been when I was 16. The head, like whatever the leader of the school, like some places call them like prefects, don't they? We call them school captains, or just the head, the year head. Yeah, they'd just been like had just gone through a 2-month-long thing, and was given, well, not a principal, not like an adult, the student leader. It's mostly symbolic, but it came with a bunch of work, it turned out. Wasn't really of any benefit. Just a bunch of work so that the teachers didn't have to do it. We also had a council of students, and then there was a like the council leader, but there were 4 school captains and then the council leader. It wasn't a very well thought through thing. Anyway, that doesn't really matter. Like, I've just been told that I was going to become a school captain, and then they would announce it well, not announce it, like we would have our first thing. So the school captain would apply for when I was 17, but I was 16, right at the end of the year. And that, sorry, it wasn't even, I'm getting mixed up with my times. The end of term 3. So there's 4 terms, the end of term 3. So the last day of the school, the school captains, the new incoming school captains, would do their first, like, assembly, like their first speeches and stuff to the whole school as an introductory practice one for the real thing next year. So, of course, the sensible thing to do the night before that, so that was on a Friday, and on the Thursday night, everyone had decided they were going to do an end of term party. The party was out the middle of nowhere.
As all teenage parties are.
Yeah. I was going to say where for your sake, but
it's not important.
It starts with K.
I like saying it though. Oops.
Yeah. So it's just a house in the middle of a bunch of bush in the middle of nowhere. We went out there, and before we got there, it took so long to get there, to go on a bus ride, and then you had to walk a lot, and then do a car ride to the rest of the way to the house. And yeah, once we were there, we went out, and there's this vine. This isn't relevant to the story. I'm going off on tangents. There's this vine here called cat's claw creeper, which is a really big weed. It grows everywhere and suffocates stuff. But we climbed up the side of trees, like, because it was so thick that you couldn't even see the trees. These are giant trees, and they're just these green blobs because everything else is just covered in vines. And so we would just, with bare hands, just crawl up the side on the vines until we were literally standing on top of trees, which I thought was, now that I think about it, was quite dangerous because we could have fallen through some of the vines. But it was really, a good experience at the time. Like we watched the sun go down from the literal treetops, like standing on top of very large trees. Anyway, later that night, so actually I'm going to need a fourth name, so I'll use Sana for that. Sana is the ex-girlfriend from before, the water slide. She was current girlfriend at the time, but I didn't think it was working. So I pretty much ignored her for the whole night, because that's how you do it.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're a teenager.
Yeah. And it was a debaucherous night. I wasn't involved in any of the debauchery because I was sad.
Aww.
Because I was about to break up with someone, and the eventual way that I broke up with her is that we were both, like, I was lying on a mattress on the floor. There was just like mattresses spread all over the floor, and in this large room with like a pool table and all this other stuff. It was a good place, apart from the fact that it was infested with fleas.
Ooh.
So that caused problems later on. They were trying to get rid of them, but yeah, it didn't for me, thankfully. I didn't move any home, but some others did move them around the place. So I lay down on the mattress, and then she lay down next to me, and then she already knew there was something wrong, and had been crying earlier.
Oh.
Which I didn't know at this point.
Yeah.
And she tried to hold.
Being a teenager sucks.
Yeah. She tried to hold my hand, and then I just gently pulled it away.
Oh, Boris. No.
And then she sat there for a little bit, and then got up and left, and then that's.
Oh.
It gets worse.
Oh no. How could it get worse?
So this is where this is early in the morning, maybe like 2 or 3, and we've got school the next day. Also, Sana, she was another school captain. So, like, we were both like boyfriend and girlfriend picked as school captains, and it was supposed to be like a good thing. And then I do that on the night before the first thing that we've got to do.
Okay.
And that's when I decided that I was going to try. Well, I'd had like drinks of alcohol, like little bits here and there, but mostly I was too scared, and, like, just wasn't interested in it. Whenever people offered it to me, I would say no. But this time I decided, well, I'm just going to try it and see what happens. So
how's that different to?
I discover fairly quickly that someone gave me scotch mixed with Coke, and then like I very quickly just decided to test. Like after one drink, I decided to test it just on its own, and discovered that I can drink alcohol neat easily, which still continues. But that's definitely, like, it's still a problem for me now. Not that I drink now, like I've mostly given up now. But at the time, as a teenager, you don't understand how much you can and can't drink. And so if you can drink scotch neat, that's quite dangerous. Because you can just down a whole
You don't know
glass.
your limits.
Yeah. And that's... I did too much. Like, I don't know how much. I can't remember how much I actually drank, but I did too much. And ended up going to sleep maybe 4 o'clock.
Stop. Just let me in. I'm having a panic.
Can you take the diamonds out of your inventory?
There. What a hassle. It has locks for these ones. It doesn't have a lock for this middle one. Sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember where I was. Yeah, I'd finally gotten to sleep, which was strange given that there was a strobe going all night. But yeah, finally got to sleep and then was woken up 2 hours later to my first hangover.
Oof.
And, well, not really at this point. That was later in the day.
Yeah.
Because I was still drunk.
Mm.
And then
Just blink every time the strobe lights up.
we had to get up at 6 because I had to get on the bus because it was so far away. So the whole process in reverse in this tiny little bus.
Mm.
And Sana sat on the back seat because the bus was pretty much just us.
Yeah.
It was the last day of school. A lot of people don't go on the last day of school.
Mm.
Yeah, so the Sana sat on the back seat being comforted by everyone, and then I sat a few seats in front of that with no one beside me, no friends. I guess they'd all decided, because we were both in the same friend group, they'd all decided that she was the one worth comforting. We were also all in board shorts, because there was some fundraiser going on. If you wore board shorts, you had to pay $2 to this charity, to a surf life saving charity. Anyway,
doesn't that just encourage people not to wear board shorts, which would be yuck?
I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, everyone wore board shorts.
Yeah.
A lot of people wore board shorts to school anyway. Yeah, so we eventually get to school, and then the first thing that we've got to do, while I'm sat there with my head kind of spinning a bit, is to go up on stage at the assembly and do our little speeches for the first time in front of, well, usually there'd be 1,000, but because it's the last day, it might be like 700 or less.
Yeah.
And so it comes my time to talk, and as I'm going through the speech, my hand that's holding the microphone just sort of gives up and slowly goes down until it's resting on the desk, because I didn't want to hold it up. Everything was too bright.
Aww.
So I was essentially just talking to myself. No one could hear me because the microphone was too far away from my mouth. So that led to people for the rest of the day like going, "Oh, you're the guy that doesn't know how to use a microphone." And like someone coming up and like teaching me how to use a microphone. It's like, yes, I understand you speak into the microphone, but my head hurts.
I don't remember how to.
No. And the rest of the day was uneventful, just boring. But then that night, I also had another friend group. So I had my same age friend group, and then I had a friend group that was 2 years younger than me. I don't know why, but that's obviously how I met. What are we going to use for that one? Emma? It's Emma, right? Yeah.
Catherine. I've lost track. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So Sana is now the ex-girlfriend, and Catherine is the girlfriend in the water slide story.
Okay.
She's in the younger group of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm cheating on my normal group of friends with this younger group of friends. I think partially because I didn't want to be in the relationship with Sana, and I knew that if I did that, then I might not have any friends. So I had to have a backup group of friends.
Right.
I don't know, that's me rationalizing it. That's not what I was like thinking at the time. I just found some new people and they were interesting. So that's kind of how I did school, was just sort of wander around and go, oh, that's interesting.
Sorry.
So this other group of friends invited me to another party, an end of term party, but this time on the final day of school. So this Friday, which had been quite difficult for me, and then I would go straight from that to another party. I don't know where my parents were in all of this. I don't know what I told them, but they were apparently fine with it.
Oh, I have one of those.
So this one was a pool party, which I didn't like because it was a pool. This is going to be a bit more complicated. There's, at this party, there will, among a whole bunch of other people, there's Catherine, Emma, and Janoodle. So, at the time, I barely knew Catherine, but Janoodle, she was quite a good friend of mine. We were fairly close, and she knew that I was breaking up with Sana.
Mm-hmm.
So she was saying, you should get to know Emma, this other person, and she was homeschooled and didn't
what
led this really weird sheltered life that I didn't find out until later. But she occasionally got to go out to Janoodle's events.
I can't handle Janoodle. I'm sorry. It's too much.
So she was allowed out of the house to go to this Janoodle party. And Janoodle was like, well, you should talk to her and, maybe you should get together with her and all this stuff.
Ooh.
Because we were a similar age.
Mm-hmm.
Really, at this point, I actually liked Janoodle.
Aww.
But we were friends. That was
so that's not allowed.
Yeah. And also, she was 2 years younger, so it felt a bit wrong.
Mm.
But I still went through with it and was like, I hung out. I made a cake for everyone.
You made a cake?
At the start of this party, they needed a birthday cake, so I was like, I'm making a cake. So I made a cake and I hung out with Janoodle's mum for ages.
Of course.
Lost it. We really got on together. And that was supposed to be like a bonding exercise with Emma. She was supposed to come in and make the cake with me. But then her mum took over and Janoodle was mad. And then for the rest of the night, Janoodle was like pushing me together with her, and I don't know how it happened, but I ended up in a spa. There was like a spa on the end of the pool. It was like a spa connected to the pool. I don't know. It was like open. You could go into the pool and into the spa. And I thought, I don't really like being in a pool, but I don't want to be the weird guy that stands by the edge of the pool the whole night. I'm just going to get in the spa. And then I turned the bubbles on, and it was all nonsense.
I've lost it. I've lost my wireless terminal that I made.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where it's gone. Just gone.
So yeah, I sat in the spa being very tired because I'd slept 2 hours and I'd had a couple of big nights and I was drunk the previous night. So I just sat in the pool really tired. And then Catherine came and sat in the pool with me, for a break from everything else. And then we started talking and then didn't stop talking for the rest of the night, essentially. So then Janoodle, she jumped into the spa as well. And then she started, I don't know, we started to do things while there are other people watching. Well, not watching, but in the spa with me, with both of us. And Janoodle and I had been friends to this point, but I don't know, just fumbling under the bubbles where no one could see. I'm sorry, you're too distracted to be
No,
outraged.
I'm choosing not to react to this.
This is what I just remembered why I told this drunk last time. And then Janoodle was like, she ushered Emma over and was like, sit here. And then she basically shoved her onto my lap. So she was sitting on my lap in the spa. Meanwhile, what's her name? I've forgotten. Noodle was still like touching me every now and then, like while she was sitting on my lap.
What is this?
And then I was also talking to Catherine the whole way through this ordeal. I don't know. That's just ESL, the second party, was where I joined in on the debauchery. I don't know. I was both a teenage boy and very tired and an idiot. So all of this was just going on, and in my head I could like separate all of them out, and it was fine. But the end of this, after this, we go and play Spin the Bottle, and I have to kiss people I didn't like.
Oh.
And that was one like a really awkward thing. I had to pick a dare for someone else to do.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else was like missing the dares, and I panicked, and I asked someone else to do like a what are they called? A lap dance to someone else, and then immediately regretted it. I thought that was just awful. Why did I do that? Just bad teenager. And then after that, over the next few weeks, so I was confused about Janoodle because she'd done all this
Janoodling
underclothes touching. And I originally liked her anyway, but she was a friend, and it was confusing. And she showed no interest otherwise. And she was still saying I should get together with Emma. So eventually I did, and that whole relationship was like 3 months long. And mostly consisted
made the wrong thing.
Of me going to her place once a week because she wasn't allowed out of the house. She had this really strict Croatian family where even like the daughter that was, I don't know, she probably would have been late 20s at the time. Even that daughter had to spend a lot of her time in the house with the family. She was married and had another life, but she still had to keep coming home. And they just owned essentially a junkyard. They had a bunch of killer dogs just locked up out the back. The other side was like this nice little pool area and place to sit. And then there was this whole track where we would drive a car around. And that was the first time that I I think that's the first time that I've crashed a car.
Oh, what?
And by crash I mean very slowly drove into a tree that barely left a mark. What was I? Yeah. So that was a whole difficult relationship with someone that I liked. Like, she was interesting as a friend, but I never actually liked her. But she liked me. So she kept trying to like move things on to the next level whenever her parents weren't watching, but I just never did. I just wasn't interested in it. I just thought, oh, why can't we just talk and then watch some TV shows? That's what I want out of this relationship.
That is what you want from any situation ever.
And I thought this was fine. The whole time I was still hanging out at school with Catherine, who I actually liked because I met her at that party, and I don't know. I ended up not really talking to her for a while because it felt wrong while I was in a relationship. But then I didn't really know why I was in one. And there was one time where I was walking down the main street. This was after school, and coming the other direction were two people that I knew, including Sana, my ex-girlfriend. And we'd mostly repaired things, and we were back to being friends again. So that was all right. But then I was incredibly rude and kind of just panicked because no one really knew that at school that I had a girlfriend, apart from the few people that I'd told, because she was homeschooled, and that kind of feels like
getting that.
That kind of feels like a lie. Say, yeah, I've got a girlfriend. She's homeschooled.
It does sound like a lie.
Yeah. So, like most of my original same age group of friends, I just didn't tell. So these two were coming down, and I didn't introduce them or anything. Just had like this awkward back and forth conversation. Said a few words and then kept going. And then afterwards, in the car on the way back to drop me off, she'd obviously told her mum that she wanted to talk about something private. So they dropped us off in front of my house, my parents' house, and she drove up around the corner so that we could have some privacy. And what she wanted to talk about was that she was upset that things weren't moving on and that I hadn't introduced her to my friends.
Oh.
Like, she just felt really awkward and left out, and I hadn't been nice because I hadn't been nice.
This is so annoying.
So she had like two legitimate complaints about the way that I was treating her. And I'll just read Sal's thing. So it was Sana, the ex-girlfriend, Emma, the 2 years younger girlfriend with homeschooling, and no water park kissing. The water park kissing is Catherine. That's coming up. Janoodle, the younger group friends, yes. That's all correct apart from the water park kissing. This Emma had these two legitimate complaints that I seemed to just be not moving anything on. We'd essentially spent 3 months watching TV once a week. The most that I would do is hug her and occasionally ask her a slightly more serious question. And she also was wondering why, like, I didn't introduce her to my friends, and yeah, she just didn't feel great. And what I did with this information was, yes, things are bad. She doesn't like me. Better break up with her. So right there, without any planning or thought at all, I just said, actually, I don't think we should be together anymore. And then it took her like a few seconds to process it because she was mad at me. And then I broke up with her. And she didn't understand it, and it took quite a while before she talked to me again.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we were sort of friends for a little bit. But she also didn't like Catherine. So there was an actual gap this time. I didn't go from one girlfriend and break up with her in one party, and then the next night, actually the same day, get another one. So yeah, there was a bit more of a gap this time while I was talking to Catherine and slowly, working. Like, this one was actually real. This is the first time like I really liked someone. And also while that was going on, I slowly repaired my friendship with Emma, just to the point where we started talking again, and it wasn't about bad things.
That's not what I was making.
So there was like, because really all I wanted from her was a friendship. And it was like slowly working out to be that way. And that's when I asked out Catherine. And that took me ages to work up to it. The other two were just really awkward and quick. That took ages because I actually cared about it. And she said yes because she had essentially been begging me to do it for the previous few weeks. And that was all good. That was like an actual good relationship despite the 2-year age gap.
Boris.
Sorry?
We've been going for way too long.
Oh.
I've just noticed.
Okay. Well,
sorry.
I'll quickly finish up. But the whole starting things with Catherine meant that Emma stopped talking to me immediately because she didn't like Catherine. Oh. And then after all of that, there was the water park thing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was like a normal relationship, normal high school relationship. And then it kind of broke down because there were floods. Aww. There were floods in this town, and she was trapped on the side of 2 flooded bridges. So she was, I think it was 6 weeks where she couldn't get out of her house.
Wow.
And her place only has reception if you're standing like down in one corner of like a large block. So the only time we communicated was via email when she could get to the computer.
Oh, and didn't that end up costing you like a lot of money?
Oh, that was before. Oh. Because the thing that happened that day in that time was texting, and texting costed money. There was a 1-cent text plan, but my mother, she controlled the plans, and she said the 1-cent text plan is too much. I'm going to get the cheaper one, but every text is going to every text is going to cost 30 cents. And it was on credit. So terrible. So she would put on like $20 of credit, which was 40 texts, along with any phone calls and texts that I had to make for my normal use. And then I would save everything else up for texting her because she was quite serious about it. She was like, you have to text me. And I was too embarrassed to tell her the plan that I was on. I didn't want her to know that I couldn't afford a 1-cent text plan. And that my mother controlled that because I wanted to seem cool. So I never told her that, and she would text me constantly, like all the time, and I would burn through those 40 texts really quickly. So I would spend a lot of every night going online and doing surveys. There were these surveys that you could do to get credit. And so I would just do survey after survey after survey in order to get enough credit to last the next day. And I remember one time we went through a tiny bit of a rough patch, and right as she asked me an important question when I was on the bus going home from school,
I threw your phone out the window.
Oh, no. I ran out of credit. And so I couldn't text her back. So I left her hanging on like this really important question. I had to go home and then like scurry through a few surveys and then I don't know what excuse I used. I probably made up an excuse instead of told her the truth. But that sort of broke down because I couldn't see her for so long. Yeah. Only the occasional email. And I think the whole time that she was there, well, she had started to, like, it was obvious that she had a crush on another boy towards the end. and I could kind of tell that they were talking like at night, because I'd come to, like, when he turned up at school, she'd like get up excitedly and literally run and hug him. And yeah, there's something happening there probably. That's all right.
So many chickens.
So she was probably talking to him at the same time, and I was under the influence of my parents and all the adults around me to go get a real job.
Oh, real job.
Yeah, well, I had one lined up. Oh. It was a full-time junior accountant, straight out of school. Not much time off between that. That ended badly as well. But like everyone was telling me, there was also studying to go along with it. Everyone was telling me you won't be able to do 40 hours of work plus 10 to 15 hours of uni every week and have a social life. Like, you better get rid of that girlfriend. Oh. I had a lot of stuff like that going on. Plus not seeing her for 6 weeks. And we kind of just decided over email that things probably weren't going to work out, because I was going to be out of school and she was going to be in school. It's going to be weird, which was probably true.
Yeah.
And then we had this, do you know the memorial park? Mm-hmm. One with what's the thing in the middle called? Rotunda? Like
the rotunda.
Yeah, there's a rotunda in the middle of this well-known park. And once the flooding had abated, we agreed to meet up there, like one last time, just to, actually talk things through in person rather than in quick emails while she was allowed to use the computer. Yeah, so we met up like in the middle of this rotunda. It feels like a movie scene.
Yeah.
And we had this conversation. She brought along this necklace that I had bought her. She really liked stuff like that. She brought it along, and like, she was wearing it. Yeah. And she'd actually come back to try and convince me to get back together.
Oh, no.
Because she thinks that she'd made a mistake just because, like, she'd been isolated.
Yeah.
And by then I don't know, I'd kind of had it set in my mind that it had happened. Even though, I don't know, I wanted to get back with her because I really liked her. But then she wanted to, and I just said no. Like, it was almost an accident.
Yeah.
And so we then left this rotunda out of the opposite sides, walking down opposite stairs. And she walked one way while I walked the other. We walked the entire length of the park in opposite directions. And and then I kind of changed my mind, but looked back and she was further away than me. And then I turned around and kept walking. And I'd like to think that she did the same thing, like it was a movie.
Well, I'm glad she didn't.
Yeah. But this will, I don't know if this ruins the story or not. What's her name? Janoodle.
Janoodle.
We're still friends at this point.
Oh.
Not long after that, well, I say not long, it's probably like a month after
That's
that.
not long.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just confirming.
She starts sending me messages, and I don't know how to say this I've been trying to keep this all nice and PG, but she essentially organizes me to come over to her house and and
do stuff.
Yeah. And up to this point, I don't have much experience in that thing, in that area, but I tell her that I do, because of course I do. So that happens twice, like on two separate occasions. I had to ride my bike the whole way. It was a very hilly town, so I got there just completely drenched. The second time, we had just finished and her mum turned up. So I literally had to hide naked behind a door while they had a conversation, and then she kicked my clothes behind the door so I could get dressed in this tiny little spot. And then she like waved at me to like run out one side, and then I biked away. Thankfully my bike was yeah. But then I don't know, that just didn't happen again. I think her neighbor got suspicious of a boy turning up regularly and told her mum, and she got scared.
Yeah.
But then Catherine found out about it, and Catherine and Janoodle were good friends too, and she wasn't happy. And then everyone stopped talking to everyone.
Rough.
And it wasn't for 2 years when I get messages out of the blue from Catherine saying, "How do you feel like coming with me to schoolies?" And it turns out she just wanted me to bring them alcohol.
Yeah.
Which I did. I'm ashamed to say. I was very lonely.
Aww, poor Boris.
But she was still with the person that she obviously had a crush on. She got with him not long after me, and they're still together to this day.
Oh, that's nice.
And then I had many years of sadness and loneliness to pay for all of my sins. And then I met you, where hopefully I've learnt how to be a better person by now. Am I a bad person?
No.
Are you just saying that because we're on stream?
No. I was a... actually, I don't know. I was going to say I was a worse teenager, but I don't know if I was. I don't think I was intentionally... You weren't intentionally mean to anyone.
No, it's only now that I look back and go, oh, that was wrong. At the time, I thought everything was fine.
It was all fine. I think most teenagers are awful.
In amongst those 2 days of those two parties, there's a whole lot of stories I'm leaving out too. Like those 2 days were just big.
Yeah.
I can remember them really well.
10s. Yay.
Okay, so next Monday, Lyric's going to think of stories to tell.
No.
About her teenage years.
No, I'm not.
But I've done it.
I know. I'm not gonna.
Oh, you're bad at peer pressure.
I mean, some would say I'm good at peer pressure. I don't give in to it. I think mine are just a lot yucker.
Oh.
More yuck. Not the plant.
But yuck's fine.
I don't know. Armin wants me to confess my sins. No, it is well past bedtime for us.
So next Monday, you have a whole week to think of some sins.
We also have a snapshot to play of Minecraft. So I might do that next Monday.
Okay.
Give a break from Stone Block. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll have to play as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I was just making sure. All right. Well, that's it from us. I hope you liked our stories. Mostly Boris's stories.
Sorry.
Um,
Once I get started, I don't stop.
Yeah. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.